Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, in a world overwhelmed by noise, stress, and constant motion, we often find ourselves searching for a moment of stillness, a pocket of peace, or a sign of purpose. For centuries, humanity has turned to two profound practices, prayer and meditation, not just to cope with life, but to elevate it. Though different in form, both serve as bridges connecting us to the divine, to the present, and most importantly to ourselves. Prayer, at its core, is an act of vulnerability. It is the moment when a person opens up completely, strips away the masks they wear before the world, and speaks their truth, no matter how painful, joyful, or uncertain it may be. This kind of openness requires courage, for in prayer we do not simply present our best selves. We reveal our flaws, our doubts, and our deepest fears. Surrendering in prayer doesn't mean giving up, rather, it means trusting that we don't have to carry everything alone. It is a conscious choice to lay down our burdens and acknowledge that there is something greater than ourselves at work in the universe. Surrender through prayer is not a passive experience. It is active participation in the journey of transformation. When we kneel, speak, or simply think our prayers, we are engaging in a spiritual exchange that brings clarity to our chaos. We begin to see that control is often an illusion, and in relinquishing it, we find greater strength than we could have imagined. The human need for control stems from fear of failure, of loss, of the unknown. Prayer helps us confront these fears, not by eliminating them, but by giving us the spiritual support and internal peace to move through them. Furthermore, prayer gives voice to gratitude, which is a powerful form of surrender as well. In recognizing and appreciating the blessings already present in our lives, we shift our focus from what is lacking to what is abundant. This act of humble recognition reduces the grip of anxiety and longing that often dominates our daily lives. Gratitude through prayer softens the heart, broadens perspective, and reminds us that even in difficult times there is still light to be found. It's a surrender to the goodness that exists rather than constant striving for what's missing. Finally, when people engage in consistent prayer, they often begin to feel a deeper connection to something beyond the self, whether it is God, the universe, or a sense of spiritual purpose. This connection fosters a greater sense of belonging and meaning, which can be especially comforting in times of despair or confusion. In that surrender, there is acceptance, not of defeat, but of life as it is in the moment. And from that acceptance grows resilience, wisdom, and the peace that comes from knowing that one is never truly alone in their journey. Meditation is often misunderstood as merely sitting in silence, but it is a deeply transformative process that nurtures the connection between the mind, body, and soul. In the modern world, where distractions are constant and attention spans are fleeting, meditation invites us to slow down and return to ourselves. It is in this stillness that we begin to recognize the patterns of our thoughts, the rhythm of our breath, and the sensations within our bodies. These observations are not meant to be judged or fixed, but simply acknowledged. but simply acknowledged for inner healing and personal growth. There are cellular growths. Do you think one of the greatest gifts of meditation is its ability to ground us in the present moment? The mind has a tendency to dwell in the past or worry about the future, pulling us away from what is real and immediate. Meditation teaches us to gently return to the now, to the breath, the body, and the space we occupy in the present. With each inhale and exhale, we are reminded that we are alive, that we exist beyond our roles, our stress, and our circumstances. This awareness fosters a sense of calm that can ripple into all areas of life, improving our emotional resilience, focus, and sense of clarity. Moreover, meditation fosters a relationship with the inner self, the part of us that often goes unheard amidst the noise of external demands and societal expectations. When we meditate, we create space to listen, not to the voice of criticism or comparison, but to the voice of truth within. Over time, this practice builds emotional intelligence, helping us recognize our feelings without being overwhelmed by them. It strengthens our ability to respond rather than react, enabling us to live with greater intention and compassion. This deepened self-connection can also enhance our relationships as we become more attuned to both our needs and those of others. In a broader sense, meditation becomes a sanctuary, a place we can return to regardless of what is happening around us. It is a tool for healing emotional wounds, managing stress, and finding balance amidst chaos. Unlike fleeting pleasures or external solutions, the peace found in meditation is enduring because it arises from within. As we begin to carry that inner stillness into daily life, whether we are facing conflict, uncertainty, or even joy, we do so with the steadiness that reflects the inner work meditation nurtures. In this way, meditation is not just a practice, it is a way of living consciously and meaningfully. Peace is something every human being longs for, an internal calmness that remains unshaken even when the outside world is in turmoil. Both prayer and meditation serve as pathways to reach this state of inner peace, although they do so through different approaches. Prayer often involves communication, where a person expresses their emotions, seeks guidance, or offers gratitude to a higher power. It brings comfort in knowing that someone is listening, even if it's beyond human understanding. This act of reaching out their secret, Grich making space for tranquility to enter. Their situation, there is a stay, and it expands my unbelink Bridget, the experiment. On the other hand, meditation achieves peace by silencing the noise within. It trains the mind to let go of constant thinking, judgment, and attachment to outcomes. By focusing on the present moment, through breath, awareness, or stillness, meditation dissolves restlessness and anxiety, It doesn't require words or explanations. Instead, it leads to peace by simply allowing things to be as they are. When practiced regularly, meditation helps individuals face life with a quiet strength, reducing emotional turbulence and enhancing clarity. The stillness cultivated in those moments spills into the rest of the day, creating a calm response to stressful situations. What makes both practices powerful is not their form but their impact. Whether one is whispering a heartfelt prayer or sitting silently in meditation, the goal remains the same: to find solace from the chaos of the world and the chatter of the mind. This pursuit of peace is not about escape, but about empowerment. It provides individuals with a space to process emotions, reflect on their experiences, and develop a sense of safety within themselves. The more consistently these practices are embraced, the more they rewire the mind and soul to seek peace over panic and calm over conflict. Moreover, both prayer and meditation foster a sense of connectedness, which is crucial for peace. Prayer creates a bond with the divine or a higher power, reminding people that they are never truly alone. Meditation, on the other hand, deepens the connection with the inner self, making individuals feel whole and grounded. These connections reduce feelings of isolation, fear, and emotional fragmentation. The peace that emerges from such connections is not fleeting, it is foundational. It becomes a well of stillness and strength that people can draw from in moments of need, helping them navigate life with grace and emotional balance. Though prayer and meditation may appear as entirely separate spiritual disciplines, they are often two sides of the same coin, leading toward the same inner destination. Prayer is often characterized by words, spoken or silent, directed toward a higher being, whereas meditation is centered around silence, breath, and inward awareness. Despite these surface differences, both practices ultimately aim to restore a sense of wholeness, clarity, and peace. They both call us to step out of the daily rush and into a sacred moment of stillness and intention. People often debate which path is more effective, but such comparisons overlook the uniqueness of each individual's journey. For someone grounded in faith, prayer might feel more personal and powerful, an open dialogue with God that provides guidance and reassurance. For others, seeking mindfulness, self-certation, or spiritual awakening without religious structure, meditation may feel more aligned with their inner need. The beauty lies in their coexistence. Each serves as a vehicle that carries the practitioner from chaos to calm, from confusion to understanding. The destination, peace, healing, connection, is universal, even if the roads differ. Cultural and spiritual traditions across the world have long upheld both practices as means of transcending ordinary thought and emotion. In Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, and many other faiths, prayer is a fundamental act of faith and surrender. Likewise, meditation has deep roots in Buddhism, Jainism, and Taoist philosophies, offering a path toward enlightenment and self-salvation. Interestingly, both have crossed into the modern world beyond religion, used now in therapy, wellness programs, and personal development. This broad adoption highlights a common recognition. Whether you speak your thoughts or observe them, the act of conscious reflection transforms your relationship with life It's also important to recognize that many individuals blend prayer and meditation seamlessly in their spiritual practices. Some begin their day with a prayer of thanks and end it with silent meditation. Others meditate to still their mind before praying more deeply. This interplay reflects a deeper truth, that the spiritual journey is not bound by rigid categories, but enriched by openness. What truly matters is not the method chosen, but the intention behind it. Provides, remains, aligned to discover peace, purpose, and a deeper sense of connection within the sacred space, the Veda. One seeks answers and engray flame Yuan. Incorporating prayer or meditation into daily life is more than just forming a habit. It is about building a foundation of inner resilience that strengthens over time. In the same way physical exercise trains the body, these spiritual practices train the mind and heart to remain steady amidst uncertainty. Each day we set aside for quiet reflection, whether through whispered prayers or moments of silence, contributes to the construction of our emotional and spiritual core. When practiced consistently, these rituals become mental anchors, grounding us during moments of stress, fear, or loss. Over time, this daily discipline transforms into a powerful inner force that supports us in both calm and crisis. Starting or ending the day with such intentional rituals helps create structure and emotional balance. When a person begins the day with a prayer of gratitude or a few minutes of meditation, they set a tone of mindfulness and purpose. This quiet moment becomes a shield, preparing the mind to face external demands with greater calm and clarity. Similarly, concluding the day with these practices helps to release accumulated stress, regrets, and restlessness. It allows the individual to let go of the day's weight and enter rest with a cleansed heart and a still mind. These rituals serve not only as spiritual practices, but as emotional reset buttons that help regulate. What makes these rituals especially powerful is their cumulative effect. One prayer or one meditation session might not immediately reveal profound change, but the daily act of returning to them develops discipline, presence, and patience. They teach us to show up for ourselves, even on days when motivation is low or the world feels overwhelmingly. Just like watering a plant each day gradually leads to growth. These practices nurture the soul in subtle, consistent ways. In times of personal trial, the strength built through months or years of spiritual routine becomes evident. Acting like a reservoir of peace and courage we can draw upon when life becomes difficult. Furthermore, daily spiritual rituals help us become more self-centered and emotionally intelligent. They create a space in which we can check in with ourselves, notice emotional shifts, and reflect on our actions and intentions. In a world filled with distractions and pressures to constantly be doing more, these sacred moments teach us the value of simply being doing more. They cultivate stillness, reflection, and an inward gaze that is often missing from the modern pace of life. The shift from outer to inner focus strengthens not only our mental health, but also our ability to act from a place of purpose rather than reaction. In this way, daily prayer or meditation becomes more than a ritual. It becomes a powerful tool for shaping a more conscious and resilient life. Prayer and meditation both serve as powerful tools for emotional and spiritual healing, offering individuals the space to process pain, let go of negativity, and rediscover inner strength. In a world where emotional wounds often go unaddressed, these practices provide a quiet sanctuary where people can sit with their feelings without fear or judgment. Prayer allows individuals to express their grief, confusion, anger, and despair to a higher power, creating a sacred outlet for unspoken burden. This release acts as a form of spiritual cleansing, helping to unburden the heart and invite peace into spaces once occupied by suffering and turmoil. Meditation, by contrast, invites healing through awareness and acceptance. When individuals sit in stillness and observe their thoughts and feelings without resistance, they begin to understand their inner world with greater clarity. Emotional pain is no longer something to avoid, but something to understand and gently navigate. Through this process, meditation teaches that healing is not about erasing hurt, but about making peace with it. It encourages the development of compassion, both for the self and for others, and allows emotional wounds to slowly transform into wisdom and resilience. Over time, consistent meditation fosters a profound sense of inner balance and self-trust. In both practices, reflection becomes the path to renewal. Whether one is offering prayers of forgiveness or quietly sitting with the memories that cause pain, the act of turning inward allows suppressed emotions to surface and be acknowledged. This kind of introspection is vital to true healing, as it addresses the root of suffering rather than simply its symptoms. For many, prayer provides the strength to forgive others or themselves, while meditation reveals the patterns that keep them trapped in cycles of anger or regret. In this way, reflection becomes an active process of transformation, but converted into sources of insight and strength. Beyond personal healing, prayer and meditation often open the door to a broader sense of empathy and understanding. Whether through the heartfelt pleas of prayer or the silent observations of meditation, both practices carry a timeless message that healing begins within, and through reflection, wholeness is always within reach. In the journey of personal and spiritual growth, it is essential to recognize that there is no one-size-fits-all approach. Each individual carries a unique set of beliefs, experiences, and emotional needs that shape the way they connect with themselves and the world around them. That is why it becomes important to choose the spiritual practice, prayer or meditation, that resonates most deeply with one's inner self. Some may find comfort in prayer, where speaking to a higher power feels natural and intimate. For others, The silent stillness of meditation may provide a more grounded sense of connection and understanding. What matters most is that the chosen practice speaks to the soul and nourishes the spirit authentically. There is often a misconception that one must choose between prayer and meditation as though they are mutually exclusive. But in reality, both can coexist and even complement each other. A person might begin their day with meditation to center themselves and follow it with prayer to express hopes or gratitude. Others might turn to meditation after prayer, using it as a way to sit in silence and absorb whatever emotions arise. When we allow ourselves to experiment with both, we create space for spiritual exploration and allow our hearts to guide us toward what brings the most peace and clarity. The choice doesn't need to be permanent or rigid. It can evolve with time, experiences, and circumstances. Making a conscious choice about one's spiritual practice also promotes self-centeredness and agency. When we select a ritual that aligns with our emotional rhythm and worldview, we take ownership of our spiritual journey. This act of intentionality creates a deeper connection with the practice itself. It shifts the experience from being a task or obligation to a meaningful ritual that fosters inner strength and emotional clarity. Whether one chooses prayer, meditation, or a fusion of both, the goal remains the same: to return to the self with honesty, calm, and purpose. By honoring what truly resonates, we empower ourselves to engage with life more thoughtfully and compassionately. Moreover, the freedom to choose a spiritual path reinforces the idea that healing and growth do not have to follow traditional or prescribed models. Some may find joy in chanting, others in breathing exercises, and others still in silent devotion or spoken words. Each choice reflects a deep personal truth and allows the practitioner to feel more at home within themselves. Rather than seeking external validation or approval, the focus shifts inward toward what feels right, natural, and uplifting. This personalization not only makes the practice sustainable, but also ensures that it remains a source of nourishment and renewal in both challenging and peaceful times. In the end, whether one turns to the gentle rhythm of meditation or the heartfelt words of prayer, the journey inward is what truly matters. Both paths offer moments of stillness in a noisy world, clarity in times of confusion, and strength when life feels overwhelming. They are not about perfection but presence, not about control but connection. So let us each find the practice that speaks to our soul, honor it with sincerity, and return to it with consistency. Because in those quiet moments, whether in silence or in supplication, we rediscover our truest selves and the peace that has always lived within us.